Good afternoon, friends. This video on one of the burning topic today. Credit in the hands of buyer, recipient is being denied for number of reasons. Reason 1, supplier is non-existent. Or supplier has taken a credit from his preceding supplier and preceding supplier has not paid the taxes. Or maybe supplier wrongly furnishing in its GSTR1, GSTIN number. Correct GSTIN number is not being furnished. B2B supply captured as a B2C. Intra-state, which is chargeable to CGST and SGST, wrongly furnished as an interstate, wrong place of supply, or vice versa. Or maybe GSTR1 is being filed by the supplier, getting auto-populated in 2A, 2B of the recipient, but 3B taxes are not being paid by the supplier. Or a situation when 3B is being filed, taxes are being paid, but GSTR1 is not being submitted by the supplier, hence not getting auto-populated in GSTR2A or 2B of the recipient, buyer of goods or services. Many regions. And for those regions, we are getting notices from the department. Credit availed in GSTR3B by the buyer, by the recipient, is not matching for a number of regions, and I've given some of the regions to you. So there is a situation that supplier may either be doing intentional mistake or unintentional mistake. Unintentional mistake means clerical error. There is no intention to evade taxes. But intentional, yes, we have seen many things. The supplier is used to file GSTR1 but not paying the taxes. We have seen that. We have seen certain supplier has taken registration in the name of so many small guys and they are not existing today. There is no office premises at which registration is being taken. So we have seen many scrupulous, the fraud supplier who are creating problem in the hands of buyer, recipient. Because credit ultimately is being denied for the buyer and recipient. Department is demanding such credit from the buyer or recipient even though this bona fide, genuine buyer, recipient has paid the amount to the supplier, and now department demanding these credit to be reversed along with interest and penalty, which is amounting to double taxation. First, he has paid to the supplier, and secondly, it is being demanded from the buyer, recipient, wherein there is no fault on the part of buyer or recipient. I have created many videos which you can see on my YouTube channel that there are genuine buyer or recipient is asking and looking for by when this problem getting solved, by when we will have some smooth, seamless flow of credit with no dispute. Problem for the recipient and buyer is he is finding that he can check the credit coming in 2A or 2B and whether supplier is paying the taxes through 3B or not. But many things this buyer and recipient can't see. There's a legal maxim, lex non cogit ad impossibilia. That certain things are beyond the power of recipient and buyer. Example could be if supplier's credit, so there's a supplier who is supplying goods and services to the recipient, This recipient can check at most transaction with his supplier, but beyond his supplier, preceding supplier, he can't check and verify. If some credit which is being alleged as an ineligible credit because of preceding supplier, how this bona fide buyer and recipient will check and verify? There is no window available. If supplier is non-existent to whom department has given registration, where is the fault of buyer or recipient? If supplier used to file GSTR1 but not paying the taxes through 3B, who was supposed to take action against such defaulting supplier? And why for such default of supplier, buyer would be penalized, recipient would be penalized? Big question. And litigation has started pan-India. Lot many things are going simultaneously. But this video is focusing on what is the way forward. What government is now trying to do to improvise this credit matching system, the GST return filing, through GST return filing, that need to be the subject matter of this particular video. When GST got introduced in July 1, 2017, it was envisaged there would be GSTR1 to be filed by supplier by 10th of next month, getting auto-populated for the recipient in GSTR2A. By 15th of next month, GSTR2 to be filed by the recipient or buyer after add, modify and delete. And then that would be getting auto-populated in GSTR1A for the supplier, which need to be either accepted or rejected by 17th of next month, and then GSTR3. What happened way forward? GSTR2 and 3 never got implemented. GSTR2A came sometime beginning of 2019, January 2019. So 2A was not available when GST got introduced, which was supposed to be. And it came only sometime beginning of 2019. And initially there was a problem. GSTR 2A was not revealing whether supplier has paid the taxes or not. It is improvising over a period of time. Then came GSTR 2B sometime from July 2020. Lot of provisions are getting changed, even for availing credit under section 16 subsection 2. Initially there were 4 conditions for availing credit: that buyer or recipient should have tax invoice, receipt of goods or services, he must have received goods or services, his supplier must have paid taxes either through e-cash ledger or e-credit ledger. But we all know this is another burning topic. My other videos are available on my YouTube channel, which you can watch for your easy understanding. And last, buyer or recipient regularly filing GST return. 5th condition got introduced by the Union Budget 2021, effective from 1st of January 2022. And this 5th condition is buyer or recipient who is taking credit on the basis of invoice or debit note that must be furnished by the supplier in a GSTR1 and getting auto-populated in GSTR2B, that is from 1st of January 2022. Now, if you look at another dispute, whether credit to be matched with GSTR2A or 2B, many other videos on my YouTube channel, kindly watch. To me, GSTR2B is the provision, first time introduced, prospective clause from 1st January 2022. In my humble submission, GSTR2A is having no relevance because it was introduced by way of rule and there was no corresponding provision. So prior to 1st January 2022, we can always and legally fight that credit can't be disputed on the basis of GSTR2A. But from 1st January 2022, credit should match with GSTR2B. So if supplier is making a mistake, furnishing wrong particulars like GSTIN number, B2B captured as a B2C, intra-state captured as a interstate or vice versa, and it is not getting auto-populated in GSTR 2B, then from 1st January 2022, credit is not going to be available. So things are getting more and more stringent, and government is trying to bring discipline, and they are improvising this GST return system over a period of time, which they could not introduce properly when they were supposed to do from July 1, 2017. GSTR 1, 2A, 2, 1A, 3 never got introduced. Then CGST Amendment Act brought section 43A for provisional credit, never got notified. Union Budget 2022, Finance Bill 2022 has clearly said they want to done away two-way communication, supplier and recipient. They want to done away. Credit is going to be dependent on your supplier. Your supplier must know the GST law. He must furnish his GSTR1 correctly with the correct particulars so as getting auto-populated in your GSTR2B for availing credit, and in time-bound manner, and must pay taxes in time-bound manner through GSTR3B. So a lot of discipline are being introduced, and government is on the verge of bringing such discipline, which from one side looks like the bona fide buyer and recipient will get the credit, and they need not require to worry about such supplier who wanted to be, and they are defaulter in the past. So these default kind of pointers which we have seen, and they were defaulted for number of region, maybe intentional or unintentional, need to be improvised, and those discipline government is bringing, and that is what the glimpses of Finance Bill 2022. I'm going to highlight 4 important changes here today in this video, which will make task easier. Of course, it is taking away two-way communication. There is no provisional credit in the hands of buyer or recipient. Only one way credit is going to be dependent on supplier. Supplier must know GST law. He must furnish correct particulars in time-bound manner and must pay the taxes accordingly in time-bound manner. So what are the changes? 2 changes which were brought by the Union Budget 2021 and effective from 1st of January 2022. Rule 59 sub rule 6 of CGST rules. This rule says unless you file your GSTR 3B for the preceding period, you will not be able to file GSTR 1 for your succeeding period. If you have not filed GSTR 3B for February month, then you will not be able to file GSTR 1 for the month of March. So, improvisation.
Talk to your clients from anywhere. Access your data anytime and from any device. Try Zoho Books.
Second, under section 75 subsection 12, explanation got inserted. And this explanation says, if you are filing GSTR 1 and disclosing your output tax, let's say 5 lakh rupees for a particular month, and whereas this should be 50,000 rupees. So you have furnished your GSTR 1 declaring your output tax as 5 lakh rupees. Actually, it should have been 50,000 rupees. And then you are paying the taxes through GSTR 3B for this relevant month where you have made the mistake quite obvious, you're going to pay 50,000 rupees. So there would be difference of 4,50,000. So this difference of 4,50,000 going to be termed as self-assessment tax. And this can be recovered by the government without issuance of so-called notice under section 73, which is non-fraud case, under section 74, which is fraud case. Now this provision is having a two-way to look at. This provision is being made to deter. It is a deterrent provision against the tax evader. Those who used to file GSTR1 5 lakh rupees, passing on the credit for 5 lakh rupees, but not paying the corresponding taxes. So this is deterrent against those tax evader. But there may be genuine and honest taxpayer. Clerical mistake. 50,000 is wrongly being furnished as a 5 lakh. 1 zero got added. Is it going to be self-assessment tax? Going to be recovered without issuance of so-called notice under section 73 and 74. Too harsh, too stringent. So we are saying to the government, they could have given some time, 4 to 6 months, so that we could have reconciled, we could have amended our GSTR1. Rest assured, I'm going to tell you one provision whereby you get time period to amend your GSTR1 and reconcile accordingly. But that is how they are bringing the provision. Two changes in Finance Bill 2022 worth noticing. Under section 37 they are saying, Bimal, unless you file GSTR1 for the preceding period, up to preceding period, you will not be able to file GSTR1 for the relevant tax period. So if your GSTR1 is pending, let's say till January, and you want to file your GSTR1 for the month of February, then you will not be able to file for February unless you file GSTR1 till January. Good one. Under section 39, they are saying Finance Bill proposal, Finance Bill 2022 proposal. Unless you file GSTR1 for the relevant tax period, you will not be able to file GSTR3B. So 3B getting enabled only when GSTR1 for this relevant tax period are being filed. So these are giving glimpses. And why such provision important? That sometime you are filing 3B, not filing GSTR1, credit disputed in the hands of buyer or recipient. Sometime you have not filed preceding period GSTR1 and filing current tax period GSTR1, mismatch continues. And these mismatch, which is on account of supplier, is getting penalized in the hands of buyer or recipient. So now these provisions are going to help. Of course, it is taking away provisional credit concept, two-way communication. It is now going to be only one way. Credit is dependent on supplier. Supplier is correctly filing GSTR1, correctly furnishing the details, and paying the taxes in time-bound, time-mannered as specified. So one way this looks like that credit is not going to be disputed in the hands of buyer and recipient, because supplier is now getting disciplined because of these provision which I narrated before you. One important change, that any omission and error in GSTR1 or in 3B can be amended at the earliest of, and time period is being extended by Finance Bill 2022 till 30th November of next financial year. So if I'm referring to 21-22 financial year, then any omission and error in GSTR1 and 3B can be amended till 30th November 2022 or date of furnishing annual return, whichever is earlier. So this timeline got extended. Earlier it was September. So having said that, what is the crux of this particular video? Crux of this video is, yes, way forward, there would be sequential filing, GSTR 1 and 3B. Cross-checking and matching, because you can't have dispute and you can't have differences. The GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B is not matching. There has to be matching. Otherwise, department will catch hold of you immediately in the name of self-assessment tax. Either it needs to be amended in subsequent month, as I said, so that discipline is brought within the system. Even if you don't file GSTR 1 till preceding period, you will not be able to file GSTR 1 for the relevant tax period. So getting streamlined. Unless you file GSTR 1 for the relevant tax period, you will not be able to file GSTR 3B, streamlined. So sequential filing going to help us to the bona fide and honest, genuine buyer or recipient. Of course, their credit going to be dependent on supplier. So the concept of know your supplier concept has come. As we have seen, know your customer in banking sector. Of course, one way it is provisional credit concept is going away, two-way communication is going away, but the kind of dispute and litigation we are finding for the past period, which I have discussed in my video, is going to be done away. It's going to be minimized, and over a period of time, such kind of litigation and mismatch will not be there. So from one angle, it looks like we are getting strengthened these provision, but we got around 1.4 crore GST registered person. Lot of registered persons are small taxpayer, small supplier. We need to provide handholding so that they can learn all this process and then follow the process accordingly. Some genuine reason could be that I'm filing my GSTR 1 but not having enough cash, acute working capital, financial crunch. I have not received the money from my customers. Where from I will file my GSTR 3B? I am not having cash. I have not received the money from my customers. So what happened? Interest, and then succeeding period I will not be able to file my GSTR 1 or 3B then. So what happened? Such kind of situation, who is going to help us? We are looking something from the government side as well. When you are strengthening these provision, bringing such discipline in the system, kindly also support and provide handholding. If we default in payment of GST, 18% rate of interest per annum is too high. Allow some level playing field in case we delay in payment of taxes. Make it at par, equity. When department delay in giving refund, rate of interest is 6%. But when we delay as a taxpayer, we delay, rate of interest is 18%. Make it at par, equity, bring equity. That's called ease of business. That's called we are on same footing. When taxpayer, honest taxpayer, genuine taxpayer, how they should be rewarded. If at all government is willing to reward honest and genuine taxpayer, government has to come forward and they have to provide this handholding and support. I'm giving just one food for thought. Let's look at from all the perspective. Just strengthening the system, disciplining the system may be a good idea, but that also needs support and handholding, which I have tried my best to explain in this particular video. Hope you got my message of sequential filing of GST return. Question is, are we ready? Get set ready now. The provision which is being proposed in Finance Bill 2022 going to be notified. So there's the time to learn and there's the time to prepare ourselves for this new sequential filing of GST return. And this time also to the government. Look at the handholding and support which I'm requesting in my video. Put your comment, Give your suggestion as well. And stay tuned for lot many GST update on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Thank you.